In the world of reality TV, shocking twists are nothing new. But this latest revelation has everyone talking, and fans truly cannot believe what just came to light. During what was supposed to be a calm sit-down, Ty suddenly pulled out a small envelope and slid it across the table, leaving everyone in stunned silence. Inside were baby photos, innocent, delicate, and undeniably connected to the man both she and Evelyn once shared as a lover. The air instantly grew heavy, and the entire room froze, unsure how to react. Evelyn's face shifted from confusion to disbelief, and then to a visible rage that could not be contained. Whispers spread quickly among the cast, and even the crew struggled to keep their composure as cameras captured every second of the jaw-dropping moment. What makes this revelation even more explosive is not just the photos themselves, but the undeniable implication behind them. Was Ty suggesting that the man in question had fathered a child without Evelyn ever knowing? Or was she exposing something Evelyn had desperately tried to hide all along? Emotions ran high. Accusations hovered in the air, and fans across social media began flooding timelines with their own theories. One thing became clear: the calm before the storm was over. And the drama had just reached a whole new level. The room was already tense before Ty even reached for the envelope. But no, one could have anticipated the storm that was about to break loose. Evelyn sat confidently, her eyes scanning around the table as if she was prepared for anything. She had always been the one who thrived under pressure, the one who could flip an argument in her favor. But as soon as Ty placed that envelope on the table, Evelyn's expression faltered ever so slightly. There was something about Ty's quiet smirk. It's the way her fingers tapped against the paper that told everyone this wasn't just another petty jab. This was different. "Open it," Ty said calmly, her voice almost too controlled, as if she had rehearsed this moment for weeks. Everyone leaned forward, eyes glued to the envelope as Evelyn hesitated, her hands frozen in midair. Chantel, seated just a few chairs away, whispered under her breath, "What the hell is this?" Evelyn finally slid the photos out, and the second her eyes landed on them, her body stiffened. She blinked once, twice, as if her mind couldn't fully process what she was seeing. The table erupted into gasps as the pictures were passed around. Tiny hands, soft smiles, a baby bundled in blankets. "You've got to be kidding me," Brandi muttered, shaking her head. The implication was undeniable. These weren't just random baby photos. There was a reason Ty had brought them out. A reason she was smiling with such quiet satisfaction. Evelyn slammed the photos face down on the table, her hands trembling. "What are you trying to pull?" "Ty," she snapped, her voice cracking with anger. Ty leaned back, folding her arms. "I'm just showing the truth. Since you like to pretend you've got everything under control, I thought it was time you faced reality. You weren't the only one in his life, and now, here's the proof." The room went silent again, tension tightening like a noose. For years, rumors had swirled about Evelyn's relationships, her entanglements, her ability to keep secrets buried. But seeing those photos made everything different. Suddenly, whispers that once seemed like gossip began to feel like cold, undeniable evidence. Jackie, never one to stay quiet, leaned forward with a smirk. "Girl, this is messy, and you thought you had everyone fooled." Evelyn shot her a glare, so sharp it could cut glass. "Don't even start with me, Jackie. You live for this kind of drama." "I live for the truth," Jackie retorted, clearly enjoying the chaos. Chantel, on the other hand, looked genuinely unsettled. "Ty, where did you even get these? Like, who gave them to you?" Ty tilted her head slightly, her silence only adding to the mystery. She didn't owe anyone an explanation. And her refusal to answer only made Evelyn's rage burn hotter. "You're disgusting." Evelyn spat, her hands clenching into fists on the table. "Dragging kids into this? You've gone too far." Ty's calm demeanor didn't waver. "Don't act like you didn't know. Don't act like you were blindsided." You thought you could play games and walk away clean. But people talk and evidence doesn't lie. The word evidence hit like a slap. Suddenly, every woman at the table felt the shift. Wasn't just about shade or insults anymore. This was about receipts, about proof, about exposing what had been hidden. Brandi leaned toward Chantel and whispered, "This could destroy her." Evelyn's breathing grew heavier, her eyes darting from the photos to Ty and back again. She slammed her hand on the table, the sound echoing through the room. "If you think you can ruin me with this, you've got another thing coming. You're not about to paint me as some villain when you're the one dragging skeletons out of closets just to stay relevant." Fans watching from behind the scenes would later say that moment felt like watching a lion cornered, ready to lash out in every direction. The power dynamic had shifted. Evelyn, usually untouchable, suddenly looked vulnerable. Chantel finally broke the silence again, her voice low but firm. "So, whose baby is this?" The question lingered in the air like smoke. Everyone was thinking it, but no one had dared to ask outright. Evelyn didn't answer, her jaw tightened, her lips pressed into a thin line. Ty, however, smiled. "Let's just say the man you thought was loyal wasn't nearly as faithful as he made you believe. And while you were busy parading him around, there were other things going on. Things you clearly didn't want the world to know." A collective gasp moved through the group. The weight of Ty's words made it clear she wasn't bluffing. This wasn't just about stirring drama for the sake of headlines. This was about dismantling Evelyn's carefully crafted image piece by piece. Jackie leaned back, laughing under her breath. "Girl, this is better than any reunion special. I knew the day would come when all your secrets caught up with you." "Shut up, Jackie," Evelyn snapped, her voice breaking with fury. She stood suddenly, pushing her chair back so hard it nearly toppled over. "I don't need to sit here and listen to this trash. You all think you know me, but you don't. And you, Ty. You just signed your own death sentence." The room grew colder with her words. Threats weren't new among them, but this felt different. Evelyn's rage was unfiltered, raw, and dangerous. Still, Ty didn't flinch. "I don't need to fight you, Evelyn. The truth speaks for itself. And no matter how loud you scream, you can't silence it." For a moment, Evelyn stood there breathing heavily, her eyes darting around as if looking for an escape. But there was no way out. The photos had been shown, the whispers had turned to questions, and now everyone was waiting for answers she clearly wasn't ready to give. Chantel's voice cut through the tension once more. "This changes everything." And she was right. Nothing about the dynamic between them would ever be the same after this moment. The photos weren't just pictures. They were a weapon, and Ty had used them masterfully. And as Evelyn struggled to maintain her composure, it was clear to everyone watching that the fallout was only just beginning. Evelyn's breathing was uneven, her nails digging into the table as if anchoring herself to reality. The photos were still there, haunting her, no matter how desperately she wanted them gone. Ty sat across from her with unnerving calm, a composure that felt rehearsed, like she had waited for this moment for months. The other women kept exchanging looks, their whispers swelling into the air until Jackie finally cut through with a laugh that rattled the room. "I swear I couldn't script this better if I tried," Jackie said, wiping fake tears from her eyes. "This is the kind of mess producers dream about." "Evelyn, girl, you've been talking like you're untouchable, but tonight? Baby, you touched the wrong nerve." Evelyn shot her a glare so sharp it could cut glass. "You think this is funny? You think dragging my name and my life through the mud is entertainment? I should sue you for slander." Ty calmly pushed another envelope across the table. "You can sue me if you want, but what are you going to do about this? Because in here, I've got more than just baby photos. I've got messages. I've got receipts of the nights he spent with me while you claimed he was with you." The tension deepened. Brandi gasped, covering her mouth as Chantel whispered under her breath, "Oh my God, she's really got everything." Evelyn's lip trembled as she shouted, "You're lying. You're making this up because you can't stand to see me happy." But Ty didn't budge. She slid her phone onto the table, screen glowing with screenshots. The man's words, affectionate, intimate, undeniable, filled the silence. Chantal leaned forward, eyes wide. "That's his number." "That's him, Evelyn. That's him." The shockwave hit Evelyn like a punch to the chest. Her head shook violently, as if denial could erase what everyone else was seeing. "He was playing us both," she stammered, her voice breaking. "You see, he manipulated me too. He lied to me, told me I was the only one I didn't know." Ty raised a brow, finally letting her mask of calm slip into disdain. "You didn't know? Or you didn't care? 'Cause when I found out, I walked away. I cut ties. You're the one who kept parading him around like he was a prize. He was a prize." Jackie clapped slowly, sarcasm dripping from every word. "So let me get this straight. Evelyn was out here screaming about loyalty, about sisterhood, but the whole time she was side by side with Ty's man, smiling for the cameras, knowing a baby was in the picture. Girl, you can't come back from this one." The sound of Jackie's mocking laugh pierced Evelyn's ears, fueling the fire in her chest. "You shut up!" Evelyn roared, slamming her hand down so hard the glasses on the table rattled. "This isn't about you, Jackie. You've been waiting for years to tear me down, and you think this is your chance? Well, guess what? I'm not going down without a fight." The raw emotion in her voice sent the room spiraling. Brandi leaned back, her face torn between shock and pity. "Evelyn, it's not just about you anymore. There's a baby." Fans are already speculating online, and once these pictures are out, people are going to judge you whether you knew or not. Chantal nodded, her voice softer but still sharp. "And let's be real, even if you didn't know at first, once you found out, why didn't you walk away? Why did you keep holding on to him?" The question hung heavy in the air. Evelyn froze, her eyes darting toward Ty before dropping to the table. Silence stretched long, suffocating. And that silence was louder than any answer she could have given. Ty leaned back, her voice measured but loaded with venom. "Exactly. Because deep down, she didn't care if he belonged to both of us, as long as she could say he was hers in front of the world." The crowd of women erupted in whispers, mutters of betrayal, and head shakes. Jackie tilted her head, a smirk curling across her lips. "Lord, I almost feel bad for you, Evelyn. Almost. But honestly, you brought this storm on yourself." Evelyn finally snapped. Her voice cracked into a scream. "You think I wanted this? You think I wanted to be humiliated like this? He told me everything was fine. He told me she was crazy, that she was making things up, and I believed him. I believed every single word because I loved him. Is that what you all wanted to hear? I loved him." Her confession sent another ripple through the room. The word love lingered, heavy, almost suffocating. Chantal blinked rapidly, stunned. "So you knew there were rumors and you still stayed? Evelyn, that's not love. That's denial." Brandi crossed her arms, shaking her head. "And denial doesn't erase responsibility. Fans are going to rip this apart. You're supposed to be an example, Evelyn. Instead, you're standing here defending a man who played both of you." Evelyn's shoulders slumped, her strength faltering. Tears brimmed in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "I didn't want to believe it. Because if I admitted it, then everything I had built, my image, my love, my story, would all collapse. And I couldn't handle that." Ty's voice was steady but fierce. "Okay? And now look, it collapsed anyway." The silence that followed was deafening. Even Jackie didn't laugh. The weight of Ty's words landed heavy, not just on Evelyn, but on everyone. Because, for once, even the messiest of them understood this wasn't just gossip anymore. This was someone's life unraveling in real time, and the evidence was undeniable. But then Evelyn's expression shifted. The tears dried before they could fall, replaced with something darker, sharper. She straightened her back, her tone lower, steadier. "You think you've exposed me, Ty, but you have no idea what you've just started. Because if I go down, I'm not going alone." The room stiffened. Jackie leaned forward, intrigued. "Now, that's the Evelyn I know. Messy, dangerous, and ready to scorch the earth." Chantal's voice trembled. "What are you saying, Evelyn? What are you planning?" Evelyn's lips curved into the faintest smile, her eyes still locked on Ty. "I'm saying she isn't the only one with receipts." The words slashed through the silence like a blade, leaving everyone holding their breath, waiting for what would come next. The shift in Evelyn's tone sent chills down the room. Her faint smile looked more like a warning than relief, and Ty immediately leaned forward, narrowing her eyes. "What are you talking about? What receipts could you possibly have?" Evelyn's fingers tapped against the table, deliberate, steady, as though every movement was a calculated move in a dangerous game. "You're not the only one who knows how to dig, Ty. While you were busy collecting your screenshots and your baby photos, I was collecting things too. You want to expose me? Fine. You should be very careful, because the things I've got could bury you." Ty's face barely twitched, but her jaw tightened. "You're bluffing, am I?" Evelyn whispered, leaning forward now, locking eyes with her rival. "You came into this room ready to humiliate me, to make me look like the villain. But the truth is, I'm not the only one who made mistakes with him. So if you think your hands are clean, maybe you should think again." Then other women erupted in confusion. Brandi's voice cut through first, sharp with suspicion. "Wait, what do you mean, Ty? What is she saying?" Ty straightened her shoulders, brushing the question away. "She's desperate, that's all. When people are cornered, they start pointing fingers." Jackie smirked, swirling her drink. "Or maybe she's pointing at something real." "Oh, this is good." "We thought the drama was over, but clearly it's just warming up." Chantal leaned forward, almost whispering, "Evelyn, what do you have?" For a moment, the room seemed to pause, everyone waiting for Evelyn to drop whatever weapon she had hinted at. But instead of speaking, she slowly reached into her bag, pulling out a folded stack of papers. She laid them on the table with a thud that echoed like a gavel striking down. "These," she said, her voice dripping with venom, "are transcripts. Conversations between him and Ty that prove she wasn't just an innocent victim. She knew about me. She knew we were together, and she didn't care. While she sits here acting righteous, waving baby photos like trophies. The truth is, she played just as dirty as me." The air was sucked out of the room. Brandi blinked, stunned. "What? Ty, did you really know?" Ty slammed her hand down, her composure cracking. "No, she's twisting this. I didn't know in the beginning. By the time I found out, it was too late. I walked away, remember?" But Evelyn pounced on her words like a predator. Too late. Or too convenient. Because these messages prove you stayed around long after you knew. You let him whisper lies to both of us while you kept smiling, and you never once told me the truth. That's not betrayal, then what is? The table buzzed with whispers and gasps, the women clashing in disbelief. Jackie leaned in closer, her smirk widening. "This is the kind of chaos I live for. I told y'all, once one bomb drops, the rest always follow." Chantel's hand trembled as she picked up one of the transcripts, skimming the words with wide eyes. These look real. The dates, the times. Evelyn, where did you even get these?" Evelyn sat back, her expression cold and unyielding. "Let's just say when you love someone, you learn to keep your eyes open. I kept track. I paid attention. So when Ty tries to make me look like the fool, I've got proof that she's no better than me." Ty's face flushed with rage, her voice shaking as she tried to defend herself. You're twisting everything. Yes, I stayed longer than I should have, but I left. I chose to leave. You stayed because you wanted the spotlight. You wanted the title of being his woman, no matter what it cost. Evelyn's laughter was bitter, broken. Don't you dare lecture me about choices. You were right there with me, tangled in the same mess. The only difference is, I admit it. I admit I was blinded by love. What's your excuse? The table split in half? The women taking sides without even realizing it? Brandi crossed her arms. Siding with Ty. Evelyn, even if you've got these transcripts, that doesn't erase the fact that he fathered a child with her. If you can't spin that away, a baby is a baby. But Chantel, always sharper than she let on, tilted her head. Still, if Ty knew and didn't tell anyone, then maybe Evelyn's not the only one who should be held accountable. This isn't just about one person being wrong. This is about both of them lying. Both of them covering up for a man who clearly didn't respect either of them. Jackie clapped her hands together, laughing like she was watching a play unfold. Amen, Chantal, finally somebody said it. The room grew louder, accusations and defenses flying from every direction until the noise became unbearable. Evelyn suddenly stood up, her chair screeching against the floor. You all can say whatever you want. Know what I've been through. I know the nights I cried, the times I begged him to be honest with me. If you want to call me weak for loving him, fine. But don't you dare act like Ty is some innocent saint in this mess. She knew, and she stayed. Ty stood up too, her voice nearly breaking. I stayed because I was scared. I had a baby on the way, and I didn't know what to do. Do you think that was easy for me? Do you think it was simple? I wanted to believe he'd choose me for our child. I wanted to believe I mattered. I wasn't trying to compete with you, Evelyn. I was just trying to hold on to hope. The rawness in her voice stunned even Jackie into silence. For the first time that night, Ty didn't sound like she was winning. She sounded broken. Evelyn's eyes softened for a flicker of a moment, the weight of Ty's words landing somewhere deep. But just as quickly, she shook her head, her defenses snapping back into place. You wanted hope, I wanted love, and he gave us both lies. But don't stand here and pretend you're better than me, because you're not. We're the same. And maybe that's the ugliest truth of all. The silence that followed was heavy, filled with unspoken realizations. Brandi leaned back, whispering, fans are gonna eat this up. They're already posting online. I just checked. Both your names are trending, and not in a good way. Chantal exhaled sharply. This is bigger than just the two of you now. It's out there. Once the world sees those baby photos, those transcripts, there's no going back. Jackie smiled darkly, raising her glass like a toast to the fall of queens. May the truth keep setting us free. Evelyn glared at her, trembling but defiant. Don't celebrate too soon, Jackie, because if I go down, I'm dragging every single one of you with me. And with that, she grabbed the transcripts, crumpled them in her hand, and stormed out of the room, leaving behind a stunned silence and the sound of Ty's quiet sobs. The sound of the door slamming behind Evelyn echoed through the walls. Found for a long moment, nobody dared to move. Ty sat frozen in her chair, her hands trembling as she wiped at her face, trying to hide the tears that betrayed her strength. The silence was heavy, suffocating, and even Jackie, who normally thrived on chaos, kept her smirk tucked away, studying the room like a hunter deciding on her next prey. Brandi finally broke the stillness, her voice sharp but tinged with worry. Ty, you've got to pull yourself together. The more you break down in front of them, the more control you give away. You know how Evelyn plays this game? She'd twist your pain into her advantage. Ty sniffled, but she didn't lift her head. I'm not playing a game, Brandi. This is my life. My child's life. I can't believe she's trying to make me look like the villain when she knew exactly what she was doing. Chantal leaned forward, her eyes darting to the crumpled papers left behind. To be fair, Ty, those transcripts, They didn't look fake. If you really knew about Evelyn and still kept seeing him, that changes things. Ty's head snapped up, her eyes flashing. Do you think I wanted this? You think I wanted to share him? I found out when it was already too late, Chantel. Yes, I stayed a little longer than I should have, but it wasn't out of greed. It was out of fear. I thought maybe he'd change once he saw our child's face, but I left, didn't I? I walked away. Jackie chuckled darkly, swirling her drink before setting it down with a soft clink. The problem is, Ty, that you left. Too late. By the time you walked away, you were already branded as the other woman in someone else's love story. And now, with a baby in the mix, the narrative has written itself. Fans don't care about details. They care about drama. And right now, you're the villain just as much as Evelyn is. The mention of fans made Ty's stomach twist. Her phone buzzed on the table, the screen lighting up with a flood of notifications. Brandi grabbed it before Ty could, scrolling through the comments. Damn, she's right. The internet's on fire. They've split into camps already. Half are dragging Evelyn for being messy. The other half are saying you're worse for knowingly staying. It's ugly, Ty. Real ugly. Ty buried her face. In her hands, the weight of public judgment pressing down harder than the personal betrayal ever could. This isn't fair, she whispered. Nobody knows what it feels like to be in my position. Nobody knows how hard it was to walk away. Chantal's voice softened, though it carried a sharp edge. The problem is, people don't care about the struggle. They care about the spectacle. They see two women fighting over a man, and they'll pick sides based on who cries louder, who snaps harder, who delivers the juiciest line. That's all this is to them. Entertainment. Jackie leaned in, her smile wicked. And the more you break down, the more entertaining you are. So, Ty, tell me, are you going to keep crying? Or are you finally going to fight back? Ty lifted her head, her eyes red but burning with determination now. Fight back how? Evelyn's already got the world believing she's the one who's hurt. What do I have left? Brandi placed a hand on her shoulder. You've got the truth, and more importantly, you've got proof. Those baby photos weren't just pictures, Ty. They were evidence. Evidence that he chose you in a way he never chose her. You don't have to spin it. Just stand firm in it. Let the world see who he really was, and let them decide. Ty exhaled slowly, nodding as though trying to convince herself. I didn't want to ruin anyone's life. I didn't want this to get this far. Jackie smirked. Too late for that. The moment you pulled those photos out, you lit a fire that can't be put out. Now the only choice you've got is whether you burn quietly, or whether you blaze brighter than Evelyn ever could. Before Ty could respond, the door burst open again. Evelyn strode back in, her face still damp with tears, but her posture tall and unshaken. In her hand, she clutched her phone, and she slammed it down on the table so hard that everyone jumped. You think you've won, Ty? You think showing those photos is going to make people feel sorry for you? Look at this. She shoved the phone toward them, a live stream already running with thousands of comments scrolling by the second. Evelyn's face had been plastered across gossip blogs, side by side with Ty's. The headlines screaming betrayal, scandal, and shame. Fans were debating, dissecting, and devouring every detail. Do you see? Evelyn's voice trembled with rage. We're not women to them anymore. We're storylines. We're villains in a soap opera they can't turn off. They don't care who's right, who's wrong, or who's hurting. They just want blood. Ty's lip quivered, but she refused to look away. Then let them have their show, because I'm not hiding anymore. I've hidden long enough, and all it got me was heartbreak. You want blood, Evelyn? Fine. But you're going to bleed too. The tension snapped like a whip, the two women squaring. Off across the table, the rest of the group frozen in anticipation. Jackie leaned back, eyes glittering. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The showdown we've been waiting for. Chantel shot her a glare. Stop treating this like a game, Jackie. This is real life. Their lives. Jackie shrugged, unbothered. Real life, fake life, doesn't matter. People are watching, and the more they watch, the higher the stakes get. None of us are leaving this clean, so we might as well embrace the mess. Brandi reached out, trying to place herself between Ty and Evelyn, but the energy was too volatile, too combustible. Both women were breathing hard, their eyes locked like rivals in a battle neither wanted to lose. Evelyn's voice cut through, the air low and dangerous. You don't know what you've started, Ty? You think this ends with a few photos and a baby? No, this is just the beginning. And by the time I'm done, everyone will see you for what you really are. Ty's reply came in a whisper, but it carried the weight of thunder. Then let them see, because at least I won't be hiding anymore. And in that moment, the war lines were drawn, not just between two women, but between two versions of the truth. Two stories fighting to be believed, while the rest of the world sat back with popcorn, eager to watch them destroy each other piece by piece. The storm that unfolded between Ty and Evelyn has left everyone shaken. From the moment those baby photos were revealed to the heated accusations and tears that followed, nothing will ever be the same again. What started as whispers of a messy affair has exploded into a scandal that fans cannot stop talking about. Emotions ran high, friendships were tested, and the fragile line between love and betrayal was shattered in front of everyone's eyes. What makes this even more heartbreaking is the fact that there is no clear ending yet. Both women stand on opposite sides of the truth, both claiming their pain is greater, and both refusing to back down. The fans are divided. The families are caught in the middle, and the future of every relationship connected to this chaos hangs in the balance. The only certainty is that the fallout from this confrontation will not fade quietly. And now it comes down to you. Whose side are you on? Do you believe Ty's heartbreak and the innocence of her child make her story stronger? Or do you think Evelyn's rage is justified after discovering such a betrayal? Was it a case of manipulation? Or were both women caught in a web they never saw coming? We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters in a drama this explosive. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're just as shocked as we are, and subscribe so you never miss another twist in this ongoing storm. Turn on your notifications because with emotions this raw, you never know when the next shocking chapter will break.